Hey there, friends, and welcome to episode 234 of Just the Zoo of Us. This week I'm joined by an evolutionary morphologist and curator of fishes to get amped up about electric fishes. We discuss fish who use electricity to make mind maps, sabotage each other by jamming their signals, starve themselves with their own teeth, and ask the important questions like, do you have a favorite fish skull? Before we get into the episode, just a quick housekeeping note. I just wanted to say a deeply heartfelt thank you to everyone who showed up for us during the Max Fun Drive over the last couple of weeks. It was a huge success, and I'm really looking forward to using the support and momentum that we got from y'all to make this an exciting year full of monthly bonus content. There will also be a virtual crafting party that we're going to be hosting over Zoom to celebrate hitting our biggest drive goal. So please follow us on social media to stay tuned for that upcoming announcement. Now that all of that is said, get ready to be totally shocked because Just the Zoo of Us presents Electric Fishes with Dr. Kassandra Ford. Hello, everybody. This is Ellen Weatherford. I'm here with Just the Zoo of Us, your favorite animal review podcast. I'm so thrilled and delighted this week to be talking about some shockingly fascinating... I know that can't be the first time you've even heard that pun today. Like, somebody probably said that to you earlier this morning, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh. That was so good.
Some electrifying creatures that we're talking about today. I have a brand new friend for us. This is Dr. Kassandra Ford. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
And what are your pronouns real quick?
She, her.
Thank you so much. And you study some of the most fascinating animals in the world, I think, because it feels like they just have this like comic book style superhero power, like something you really only hear about in like comic books and
definitely.
Superhero movies.
Yes. I study electric fishes.
Which, just to get this out of the way right at the top.
Yep.
I know what you're thinking. If you're listening to this and you hear electric fishes, I know you're thinking of electric eels.
Absolutely.
You can set those to the side. Because that's not even what we're talking about.
Not really. We're talking about electric eels tangentially. So a lot of people are familiar with the electric eel. They're kind of the charismatic one that everyone would think of when they think of an electric fish. What they don't know, what the majority of the public does not know, is that there are about 500 other species of electric fishes out there that are not the electric eel. The electric eel just like steals all of the lightning. How is that?
My temptation is to immediately be like, oh, they're not special. But like, they're special, just a lot of other fish are special too.
I don't want to call them overrated because they're not. They're very cool, but there are so many other species and none of them get any of the attention.
They don't need to hog the spotlight.
Yeah, those are the ones that I want to focus on today, if that's cool with you.
Absolutely. And just because we've done an electric eel episode in the past, they're not even eels. So like...
No, they're just fish. Yeah, they're fish. It's a concept called convergent evolution, where organisms that are completely unrelated come up with similar strategies, similar evolutionary adaptations. Electric eels have converged on the eel morphology, which is how many limbs can you possibly lose and still be able to swim in the water? They've come up with a similar number, which is very few, as our actual eels, Anguillidae, which is a completely different group of fishes.
I like the evolutionary arms race to shed as many limbs as possible.
Yes.
They're like, get those out of here. We don't want to see fins.
We don't need them. We just need like two little tiny... It's like T-Rex arms, but on a fish. They're like these little tiny things that don't really do much of anything on the sides of their bodies. It's really comical.
Vestigial. So before we get too much into the electric fishes, I want to talk about you because you have a really fascinating sort of career and position, and I would love to talk about that a little bit. For friends listening who have never heard your voice before, could you let people know what your work looks like with these electric fishes?
Absolutely. So I am a brand new assistant professor at the University of Minnesota, which I'm absolutely thrilled about. So I get to do teaching, some research. But one of the key components of my job is that I'm also the curator of fishes at the Bell Museum of Natural History here in Minnesota.
This is an amazing title, by the way.
Well, okay, so the official, my long title it's a mouthful. So Dr. Kassandra Ford, assistant professor in fisheries, wildlife, and conservation biology, and curator of ichthyology and malacology at the Bell Museum.
First of her name, the unbroken, the undying.
Mother of electric fishes.
Mother of fishes.
It's so long.
But curator of fishes, I just feel like that makes such a cute mental image in my head of someone just selecting individual little, this one, that's the fish.
Sort of. It's more like I get to walk through 5 different rooms full of ethanol-filled jars.
Yes. I can smell that.
You can. We have about 50,000 lots is what we call them. So each jar is considered a lot. And that jar can have anywhere from 1 to hundreds of fish in it. So we have, I think, close to 250,000 fishes in our collection. Wow. Yeah.
And these are preserved wet specimens, right?
Yes. So they are no longer alive, which does make some people sad, but this is a natural history biodiversity collection that's been going since, I think the oldest specimen I found is 1899. Whoa. And we have this record really of species and fishes from Minnesota and beyond for over 100 years. And that's a huge, amazing resource for scientists and researchers all around the globe, honestly, to do some really cool research.
Yeah, so what do they use specimens like that for? What is the benefit of having a little fish in a jar?
Well, there are many, many different things. I think through your podcast, you've probably learned that, science has about 15 million different disciplines in it. And so there are some people who might be studying, the morphology of them, so the shape of these organisms. They could be looking at their diet, so taking a look inside of the fish. Since we have them preserved, we're able to look inside of them. I do some really cool CT scanning of the fish, so I can look at their internal bones without destroying the outside of the organism. And other people are just using kind of the records or the numbers of fish that have been caught in different places over the years so that we can see if populations are changing, if there are differences in, has the species been caught in this lake before, things like that over time. So it's kind of a historical record that we can use as well.
Oh, that's really cool. I've been in a biodiversity museum before. It's the Beatty Biodiversity Museum in Vancouver in British Columbia.
Oh, so cool.
And you think you kind of know what a museum is like, what a natural history museum is like.
Yeah.
And this is nothing like it. It's like a library of dead animals.
Exactly. There's the part that, the public sees. And so if anyone has ever been to, the Field Museum or the Smithsonian or their little local natural history museums, kind of like the Bell is, they'll have specimens on display and you can see some of the biodiversity either from around the world or from right outside their door. But what the public doesn't always get to see are those libraries that are often below the museum. So this is what the researchers sometimes have access to and the curators like myself are in charge of. And that's where those thousands of specimens live for, putting out for the public if they want to see it or bringing it out for outreach. But also that research component is really, really important.
Prior to working at this museum, you also did some really, really cool research on electric fishes, which don't just live in the Amazon.
No.
They live in lots of different places. What was that research like for you?
Oh, I did a lot of different things. I was lucky enough to go to the Amazon and do sampling one year. That was back in 2017, and I have not been back, but that is on my list. But I used a lot of museum specimens and that CT scanning method that I was talking about to look at the evolution of their head shape over the years. And by over the years, I mean since they started evolving about 300 million years ago.
Oof. So they've been around a minute.
Oh, a hot minute. Yeah. Not as long as sharks, but yeah.
So you're like looking at like scans of fish skulls?
Yeah. Hundreds of them.
I've seen some really gorgeous pictures of like scans of fish bones and fish skulls. Yeah. Some of them are super pretty.
I have some pretty cool images, if I do say so myself.
Do you have any favorites?
I do. Sternarchorhynchus hagedorni is probably my favorite. It's a mouthful and it's really long. But they're like a tube-like snout, so it almost looks like an elephant trunk going down and creating this really elongated downward-facing snout that they use to probe into the water or into the sediment at the bottom.
The sound you could hear was me typing that into Google so I can just pull up a real quick JPEG. And this is a goober. This is a certified goober.
Absolutely, yes. Goober is a great way of putting it. They're kind of dorky.
Are you telling me this is an electrical guy?
It is. It is.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So 100%. Electric fish kind of come in two varieties. So the electric eel, like the one that we talked about, that's the most kind of commonly known, is the strongest in terms of producing an electric discharge. It could shock you. And it would kind of be like, I don't know, sticking a fork in an outlet, which 10 out of 10 do not recommend doing. That is not something safe. That's not something that we do, right?
Please tell that to my 3-year-old as quickly as you can, because I would love to communicate that information in any way that's going to stick.
No! It seems like a great thing to do, but it's really not. But the other flavor of electric fish are those kind of 500 other species I was talking about. We call them weakly electric fish. If you stick your hand in the tank and touch them, you wouldn't feel a thing. We actually didn't know they were electric until somebody put like an amp from a guitar into the water and heard this noise.
What a lucky find. Like, what was the thought process? Why were you doing that?
Okay, so there was like a very smart thought process behind this. So producing an electric signal requires a very specific adaptation. You are either changing neural cells or muscle cells into electrocytes. So kind of repurposing specific cells into an electrocyte. That becomes part of the electric organ, which allows these organisms to control the ionic dipole of their cells. They're able to kind of put all of the positive ions and all of the negative ions on different sides of the cells, stimulate that, and have an electric field generate around their body. So there are specific cells that are necessary to do this. They recognized and identified those cells in the electric eel, which if you touch, you can tell is an electric fish. They saw those same cells in these other fish, but were like, but we don't feel it. Why would they have these cells if we can't feel their electric charge? Well, the charge was so small that they couldn't feel it physically, but it was being produced, and so they could hear it with that amplifier.
Oh, that's cool. So, like, the science came first.
Yes.
And then they were like, we know, based on what we already know about this other fish, even if we can't detect it with our own human senses, we can figure out that there's something more going on. That's really cool. It's like the understanding of the animal's anatomy.
Yeah, morphology before we figured out function. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned that there's like 500 species of fish that can use electricity in this way. Are they all like a family of fish, or like what is their relationship to each other?
They are not. So in terms of freshwater ones, we'll just kind of focus on freshwater. There are 3 different groups. There are the gymnotiforms that are found in South America. There are the mormyrids, which are found in Africa. And then there are technically torpedo rays as well that are often found in South America, which are like stingrays, but instead they can shock you. I don't study those. They don't have bones, and I like bones. So I went with the bony fish that can do this. In addition, there's also marine stargazers, which can shock you through their eyeballs. Again, I was like, okay, we're just going to be real specific here and do freshwater bony electric fish for my work.
We talked about the electric stargazers a long time ago, and the electric stargazer name is so powerful. Like,
it is.
It's a D&D wizard.
Yes. And the fish that I study look funny, but like stargazers really look funny.
Yeah.
And that was beyond my capabilities. No.
Yeah, you don't want to be looking at those for too long.
No. I think it would make your own eyes go like cross-eyed or something.
Psychic damage.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like, because you mentioned that like some of these electric fish live in South America, some of them live all the way in Africa, huge ocean in the middle. These are freshwater fish. So like not a lot of perhaps breeding happening between them. Is this convergent evolution?
This is convergent evolution, which is one of my favorite phenomenons. If you cannot tell, I love talking about it. It's amazing. So if we go back beyond that 300 million years that I was talking about, at the time, the two continents of South America and Africa were actually combined. They were considered a supercontinent called Gondwana. At that time, so this is like 400 million years ago maybe, there was a species of fish that was found across both continents. When the continents divided, that species was on both continents. That species continued to evolve. Species give rise to species. So it diversified, and eventually we got the preliminary version of the electric fish on both continents. And independently, both of these groups evolved electric signals on their separate continents.
Which seems so like it's such an advanced thing for them both to arrive at.
Yes.
That is mind-blowing.
It's insane. Yes, the first time that I learned about this, it blew my mind, and I knew that those were the fish that I wanted to look at. I was like, what?
Are the two, like, otherwise pretty similar to each other? Are they otherwise different?
Oh, they're vastly different.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have thought that, like, if they would both come to the same conclusion, they maybe would have followed some of the same steps to get there, but...
No, their body plans are very different. Some of the only similarities that really visually you can see are in their head shapes. And so that's what I wanted to focus in on in my dissertation research. So I actually quantified the shape of the bones inside of their heads in order to determine if those shapes were the same or not, if there was additional convergent evolution in their head shapes.
Based on this goofy little guy that I looked up a few minutes ago, I think there's some things you can quantify in that there noggin.
Yes. If you want to look up another cool species, it would be Campylomormyrus elaphus.
Oh, he looks so gooby.
Yes, but somewhat similar with that long tube-like snout, right?
He looks like his face melted.
They're both so dorky. But there were multiple species in both of these groups that had these like elephant trunk-like snouts. And I saw this and was like, are they doing this the same way? How are they building that snout? Like, is it bony? Is it not bony? What's going on here? Turns out it is bony, but they're actually elongating different bones to get to that similar shape.
Huh.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like tusks, how like different like mammals could evolve, like they could elongate different teeth to get like the tusk shape, but it's like different parts of the head.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's so cool. So, okay, since we're talking about morphology, the ways that these different fish have adapted to kind of arrive at similar conclusions, but took a different route to get there, let's talk effectiveness. Because if you've never listened to this podcast before, our gimmick, our whole deal is that we rate animals out of 10, and the first category is effectiveness. Physical adaptations, tools that the animal has built into their body to let them do the things they're trying to do. What do you give electric fishes out of 10 for effectiveness?
Okay, I really, really, really would love to give them a 10, but I can't.
Oh no.
I cannot. They get a 9.
Oh.
It's really high.
Okay.
Because what they want to do, for the most part, they're doing. They can actually swim super well. The ones in South America have an elongated anal fin, so the fin that's on the bottom part of their body, and they can actually move it back and forth like a ribbon. And it allows them fantastic control in the water column. They're able to move forwards and backwards super well. A lot of fish cannot swim backwards. These ones can. Same with the ones from Africa, they just do it a little differently. What's not so effective about some of these species is the sexual dimorphic characters that they have come up with. So sexual dimorphism, these are characters that are typically only seen in males that are breeding, right? In some of the species of fish, they have opted to grow additional teeth or just elongate the teeth that they already have.
You just throw a couple of teeth in there.
Just a couple teeth.
Fine.
A lot of organisms might do this. That's fine. The problem comes when they grow the teeth so long that they actually puncture their own skin, their own lips, and then they just keep going until eventually the teeth fuse together and don't allow them to open their mouth.
That's not helping.
It's not.
It's not helping.
It's not. It does allow them to ram into other fish and like maybe hurt them, but they can't eat.
But at what cost?
Yeah. It's called their life because then they die.
How, like, what's your priority here? Like, is your priority to ram into your, fellow man, or is it to be alive?
To be alive. So this is definitely a breed fast, die young strategy.
They're here for a good time, not a long time.
Correct. Yes. There's another species that will just elongate their snout. So, like, you think that their snout's like a decent shape. Then they just grow it longer and longer and longer until
it's not enough. It's never enough.
It's so long that it can't close properly.
Oh.
And again, can't eat super well. And so instead they do like jaw locking with each other and fight.
Oh my gosh. Like jousting? With
yes.
their jaws.
Yes. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. So it's so extreme in terms of this elongated jaw that they were originally, the males and females, described as different species.
Because they clearly could not be the same thing.
Correct, yeah. No, it was just the males being
I'm looking at these two fish. You can't look at these two fish, tell me it's the same fish.
Yeah.
It's like if you're going to drastically alter a part of your body purely for impressing the ladies, make it one you don't need to survive. Like,
correct. Like antlers that just break off or something. But no.
Maybe they have to really prove how committed they are.
Could be.
They have to really show, like, I'm in this. I'm so committed that I'm willing to make myself unable to eat. It's a lot like the babirusa, though. It's a type of pig from Indonesia that has tusks that grow like up and then out and curl around, and they can grow so long that it pierces their skull and kills them.
Yeah. So similar concept here. That's so close, but why? Why are you doing that?
There are better ways.
There are.
It's toxic masculinity, I think.
Ooh. I think you are right.
Okay, so you mentioned that there's two different sort of categories of fish that can produce electricity and that some of them are much stronger than the others. What are they using this electricity for? Like, what does that do?
So for the strongly electric fish, like the electric eel, they're using it for protection and for predation. So they're able to shock something that might be trying to eat them, but they can also shock something and eat it, which is, great methodology. The rest of them are actually using it for communication and almost like an electromagnetic field around their body that they can tell what's around them, almost like vision.
It's like a mind map.
Yeah, yes. So they have this constant, it is 24/7, 365, electric field going around their body, and anything biological that goes in there is going to disrupt that electric field a little bit. So all organisms, including us, have a little bit of electricity in us. We have some ions, we have some dipoles in our cells, and so that can alter their electric field a little bit, and they can tell that something is entering and biotic. Based on kind of the amount of that disruption, they can tell how big the thing is. So like, is this something that could eat me? Is this something I can eat? They can kind of tell that apart. They can also tell if something is not biological, like a giant rock, because there's no electric signal coming from it. But what's even cooler than this vision, which is already amazing, is that each species has kind of its own specific signal. Oh. So an electric signal has like a dipole, so a positive and then a negative before it goes back to neutral. And the amount of positive or the amount of negative can change based on the species. So some of them have a higher positive and a lower negative than others. And so individuals can actually tell if another electric fish near them is the same species as them or not.
Oh, that's probably super useful.
Super useful. Additionally, to make it even cooler, some species actually have slight differences in sex for their signal. So they can tell if that organism that's the same species as them is a potential competitor or a potential mate.
That is very granular data. Not only just to be like transmitting and receiving, but also like processing.
They're processing it.
Like to understand it.
Yes, absolutely. So the electric fish in Africa, mormyrids, actually have one of the biggest brain to body size ratios in fish, if not the biggest. Like their brains are huge and they are processing all of this information in real time and getting a lot of data from it.
It reminds me of if anyone's ever played a video game in which you have a little mini map, and the mini map will show you, if it's like a multiplayer game, it'll show you where your friends are, and like your friends will be like pinged in green, and then the enemies are pinged in red.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Which, I mean, is probably even more useful than eyesight. If you're in a place where there's like murky water, you wouldn't be able to see anything anyway.
100%. So kind of like there are, cave fish that have zero light happening around them. They've adapted, fancy eyeballs or lost their eyeballs because it's just not useful. The same thing is sometimes happening in these electric fish too. So a lot of times the Amazon or the Congo are so turbid and so murky that vision's just not really helpful. And so sometimes they've actually reduced their eyeballs to like the size of like a needle head. And you're like, is that its eyeball? I guess it is. That's a little black dot on its face. Okay, cool. That looks helpful.
Who needs it?
So they've come up with kind of this alternative version of vision, which is their electric signal.
Hey there, we're taking a quick break to hear from a couple of our friends on the Maximum Fun Network. When we get back, we are rating ingenuity and aesthetics for electric fishes, so stay with us.
Thanks to everyone who contributed during this year's Max Fun Drive. We truly couldn't do what we do without you. With the drive in the rear view, it's time for another proud tradition, our annual charity pin sale. This year, the proceeds for the pin sale will support Vote Riders, a nonprofit dedicated to expanding ballot access nationwide. Members at $10 a month or more can purchase Max Fun Drive pins featuring shows from across the network, and all members are able to buy our network pin design, exclusive to this charity sale. The sale is live now, and it ends Friday, April 12th. For more info, head to MaximumFun.org/pin sale. And thanks again for your support.
From the twisted minds that brought you the Adventure Zone, Balance and Amnesty and Graduation and Ethersea and Steeplechase and Ultraspace and all the other ones, the McElroy brothers and Dad are proud to reveal a bold vision for the future of actual play podcasting. It's called the Adventure Zone versus Dracula.
Yeah, we're gonna kill Dracula's ass. We're gonna attempt. We haven't recorded all of it yet. We will attempt to kill Dracula's ass. The Adventure Zone versus Dracula.
Yes, a season I will be running using the D&D 5th edition rule set, and there's 2 episodes out for you to listen to right now. We hope you will join us. Same bat time, same bat channel for more fun.
I see what you did there.
on the topic of galaxy-brained, 900 IQ move,
Yeah.
let's talk ingenuity. Because the second category we rate animals on this podcast is ingenuity. This is behavior, things they're actually doing to solve problems or, thrive in their environment. What do you give electric fishes out of 10 for ingenuity?
Definitely a 10 out of 10.
Okay, so here's where they're cleaning up.
Here's where this is where they are. This is where they live, yes. So this is a fantastic evolutionary adaptation. Not a lot of fishes have it. If we think about, there are between 30 and 35,000 species of fish, and like 500 of them can do this. That's not huge proportions. And this is just a fantastic method of visualizing their environment when they can't actually see anything.
Yeah, because they kind of get like a 3D. It's almost like how like echolocation or something can give you like shapes around you and maybe more information than just your eyes would.
Absolutely.
I also wonder, like, it seems like a cool way that they could get a good lay of the land without maybe alerting other fish to their presence. Mm-hmm. Or is this something that like other fish would be able to pick up on?
So more species of fish have evolved what we call electroreception, which would be the ability to detect electric signals. They can't produce it themselves, but they can actually kind of like hear it. It's almost like that amplifier that we stuck into the water, but think about that in their brains instead. They're able to sense that electric signal. And so there is a positive in that these electric fish are able to sense their environment, but it is a little costly because it's also kind of like this beacon.
That's true.
Like instead of a light or something like that, it's like this constant going around the river.
The way I imagine it is if you remember when speakers used to, if you had a cell phone near a speaker and you were about to get a call, it would go like right before your phone went off.
Yep. Pretty much.
So I guess it's a trade-off, right? Yeah. Between like your own perception, your own visibility.
Absolutely.
Do they get eaten by things?
Oh yeah. A lot of times by catfish. Big catfish will eat them. That's probably their biggest predators. These fish can get a decent size. The ones in Africa can get bigger, but I've seen ones in South America, if we're ignoring the electric eel, because that's just sitting over in its own little category there. I've seen ones that are closing in on 1.5 feet long, but most of them are closer to 8 to 12 inches. And so a fish will eat pretty much anything that can fit into its mouth. And these aren't the chunkiest things ever. So they're eaten a lot. Additionally, sometimes they're jerks to each other and they'll actually bite the tails off of each other.
Excuse me?
Cruel, very cruel. But there's actually a reason for it. So this electric signal that they're able to produce depends on the strength of it, depends on the length of their bodies.
Oh, really?
So the longer their bodies, the more electrocytes, electric cells they have, the stronger their signal is. If their tail gets chomped off, their signal's less strong and they're less desirable as a mate. Now, it's not like the saddest thing ever because they can regrow their tails.
Oh, they're fine.
It takes a while, but they can regrow it. They're like mostly tail. If you look up a picture of these fish, it's like the first 1/4 of the fish is its head and its gut, and then the rest of it's all tail. So
they're sabotaging each other, though.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
It's like jamming their signal.
Mm-hmm.
That is diabolical. And like the fact that it grows back is so funny to me because they're just like griefing each other. It's not like a fatal thing. They're just like mildly inconveniencing each other.
Yes.
That's so petty.
Yes, absolutely. They are the kings of petty.
But like when it comes time to, you mentioned that they can tell, if there's a member of their species that's like the opposite sex from them, so they can like find, maybe good for finding mates with each other. Are they like cool with each other?
I think it's a quick and dirty thing. They're not really like hanging out with each other. A lot of times the males will guard a nest after the eggs are fertilized, but they're not really hanging out with each other. So in addition to, the jerkiness of some of these fish to each other, the electric signal is also, it has an added complication that if there are two fish that are the same species, very close to each other, there's almost feedback between the electric signals. They don't really like being really close to other electric fish in general.
That's so sad. I mean, okay, from a human who a social species who to me is inclined to be like, oh yeah, everyone wants to be friends and seek out.
No.
But imagine if every time you wanted to go on a date, just the entire time there was just
it's like a magnet. They're just bounce back from each other. No, you can't. No, you can't.
There's just an aggressive feedback whine in your head the entire time.
They're able to mitigate it a little bit. So sometimes one will change their signal slightly and so try to reduce that feedback a little bit. But it's definitely been documented that these little nuggets are a lot happier being in solo tanks if they're ever brought into the aquariums.
They're introverts.
Absolutely. I mean, same. I am too. I relate 100%.
I think a lot of us also get a feedback whine in our head whenever we're around members of our own species.
Depends on those people, right? Try to be nice here.
Maybe your friends are the people with the right signal. They've adjusted their signal.
Yes, because they understand you.
There you go. We can learn some things from the electric fish. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that keeping them in tanks. And this is something that I'm curious about because I feel like I've seen an electric eel in an aquarium, but I don't know if I've ever seen any other electric fish in a tank. Is it challenging to keep them in a tank, alive, not the wet specimens that we were talking about earlier?
It is very challenging. Electric eels are a little more hardy, which is why more people have probably seen them at aquaria. But the other species they're very finicky. I have tried to keep some alive for experiments, and they struggle. A lot of them are used to deep river channels in the Amazon, and that has super fast flowing water. And so them being put into a tank, which you can try to simulate some of that faster flowing water, but it just doesn't do the same thing. A lot of them don't like it. There are a few species out there. The black ghost knifefish is a common one in the aquariums.
Gorgeous.
And those ones can tolerate it. Those are probably the most hardy and the best at managing it.
Which is lucky because they look amazing. They look incredible.
With their little black stripe going down the top of their heads.
Fish.
Yeah. So some of them do a lot better than others, but in general, I haven't had great luck with keeping them alive. Other labs have, but...
They could be an outside friend.
Yes.
I feel like I would be so startled if I ever, was just, walking through a river or something like that and then experienced electricity.
Oh, yeah. No,
I'm dying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So one of the kind of folk tales, but it is reality in the Amazon, is that if people wanted to cross some of the rivers in the Amazon, they would actually have to cross on horseback so that they wouldn't get shocked and then topple over and drown themselves, but instead kind of be mean to the horses and let the horses take the grunt of it.
I was about to say, what, so you make your horse do it instead?
I'm not saying these people were nice.
Give the horses little rubber boots.
I don't know that would fix it.
That's how electricity works, right?
Absolutely. No.
If Pokemon taught me anything, it's that all you need to do is have little rubber gloves.
Yes. And then you can just
and that's it.
Do anything. Yeah.
Then you're fine. There are quite a few electric type fish Pokemon.
I'm not a Pokemon person.
I am.
I tried. When I was 12, I tried, and then I just couldn't figure it out.
The most relevant one that I can think of is specifically Electros, which is eel and also electric. But it looks like a lamprey. So if you look it up, you'll be like, I don't think I'm looking at the right thing. It looks like a lamprey.
Oh, it does. Interesting.
Really kind of lost the plot a little bit in the electric eel sort of department.
100%. Oh, that's a lamprey for sure.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I don't know why they made it electric, but they did.
Which lampreys are also very cool. I'm a huge fan of lampreys.
I know, like you could have done something really cool with a lamprey without needing to bring electricity into it.
Who knows?
Okay, let's talk aesthetics. This is the last category we rate animals on. It's just how nice this animal is to look at. You've given me some challenging content so far. So I don't know which way you're going to lean on this, but what do you give electric fishes out of 10 for aesthetics?
You said nice to look at?
Pleasant. They could be cute. They could be cool.
Oh, they're gonna get a 7.
That's generous. I think that's fair.
'Cause they're kind of cool looking. They're definitely like goobers, but like they have some funky head shapes.
This one with the snoot,
cool.
I don't know if I would call it cool. It's very dweebish.
Okay.
This would be like a fish that would get bullied.
I guess I've stared at them so long that I've fallen in love with them. Maybe, okay, it's my ranking is a 7. Realistically, they're a 5.
It's a 7 with love.
Yes. Additionally, like if you could see their skulls, then it's a 7. Their skulls are so cool. There's like funky bones, there's teeth, there's all of this stuff that just like doesn't show up on the outside.
It's hidden beauty.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite fish skull?
Oh, I have. Well, I don't know that it's going to show up because it's like all of my dissertation stuff. But can I share my screen really quickly for you?
Ooh. Yeah, you can. Look at those beautiful babies. Oh, this is quite the image.
Like, look at those skulls.
The one, okay, second from the top on the left has the little alien mouth.
Yes. It looks like a horse.
Oh, it does look like a horse. Why?
It looks like a horse. But if you actually look like what a horse's skull looks like, it looks nothing like this. But this is what a horse's skull should look like.
It's like what you expect a horse to look like. Mm-hmm. So I figured out what feels so familiar about the snooty ones, and that is that they look like an anteater.
Yes.
It's giving anteater with a really long, skinny mouth.
Yep.
Even though realistically, I'm pretty sure they're not eating ants.
No, but they are eating little bugs. So
close enough.
Yeah, little aquatic ants.
It's just the anteater of the water.
Of the river, yeah.
They look so silly. Oh, I saw a baby one. I saw a picture on Google of a baby one. They're so cute.
So, with the skulls incorporated into it, for coolness, I'm going to say a 7.
Fair. That's fair.
If you're just looking at it, just for the outside of it, it's a 5.
You know, I've seen a lot of like memes and stuff of like how paleo artists, like how artists will like reconstruct an animal based on like the bones that we found from it. And a lot of times they'll like shrink wrap them to make them look really intimidating and cool. Mm-hmm. But then like you see the actual animal looks kind of silly.
Yes. Because there's things like muscles and stuff that they are supposed to put on top of there.
Fat and tendons and stuff, but I feel like if you tried to get someone to reconstruct one of these just based on the skull, it would look very different.
Maybe cooler than what they actually are. Yeah.
Now, the thing that I wanted to bring up is that I think that for a lot of people, you know, you only hear about the electric eel. And also, for a lot of people, I think the only representation of an electric eel they've ever seen is probably in like a cartoon. Mm-hmm. Or a movie such as The Little Mermaid, which for some reason has moray eels
that are electric.
Is this just nails on a chalkboard to you?
I hate it. Honestly, I went and I saw the newest Little Mermaid, the live action version of it, and all I could see during the entire, Under the Sea song was the number of freshwater fish that they had in that sequence.
Atrocious.
And then, I mean, this movie is supposed to be set in like the Mediterranean, and they had like Arctic fish over here, and then this fish over here, and I'm just like, why is a cichlid in there? Why is there a cichlid? What? I'm
sure they were grabbing whatever they could find on like Getty stock images. Like,
Absolutely.
Put this one in there too.
I'm like, did you need a fish scientist as a, like a consultant?
They usually have consultants,
Sign
right?
me up.
Like, what happened?
Here you go. I'm right here. There are like hundreds of us who study fish who could have told you that like that cichlid is found in fresh water in Lake Victoria in Africa.
Just get some eyes on it. And I think that so many people, like a lot of times people don't really even think about fish being like specific to even just saltwater or freshwater, right? Like for a lot of people, that's not even, they don't even think about that.
No, it's just water.
It's all water. Fish go in water. What more can there be to it?
So much. So much.
I should have asked this earlier, but it just now made me think of it. Is there some sort of relationship between the capacity of the fish to produce electricity and like the salt in the water? Is there like a reason that so many of these fish live in fresh water?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I asked then.
No, it is, and I forget to talk about this sometimes. So the majority of electric fish are found in fresh water because there's fewer ions in the water. There are fewer little particles that can affect their electric signal that are found in marine systems with salt. So stargazers are kind of the exception to that rule per se. And so their stargazers are not producing electricity all the time, unlike a lot of these other electric fish. So that's kind of one of the reasons.
That's interesting. I didn't think about it being like the composition of the water, but it makes sense, right? Because it's going to be vastly different, like environments that you're in.
Oh, I forgot to mention, there are electric catfish too. I forgot about the catfish. Oh. I'm so sorry, little ones. Yeah, there are electric catfish too.
You'll get your moment.
Somebody else can talk about them. I don't study them, but I know that they're there.
Are they, is it also like a perceptive sort of thing?
So that one, I believe there's only one small little group that can produce a couple of charges every once in a while.
They're trying.
They are. Kind of like the torpedo ray.
They're giving their best.
They are, but my electric fish are better.
Hot take alert.
I'm going to stand by it. I'm here for it.
Someone's going to come for you.
Let them come. I got it.
Let them. Dr. Cassie, this has been an amazing time. I feel like I learned so much about not just electric fish, but like fish in general.
Good.
So cannot thank you enough for your time and your knowledge. Before we hop off for today, I'd love it if you could let people listening know where they can follow along with, if there's any projects that you're involved with right now, or, you know, places where people can follow along with your work. Where can people go next?
Yeah, so I have a website. It's KassandраFord.com. I'm also associated with University of Minnesota and the Bell Museum. I'm on social media with the handle Cass the Fish, KassThefish. Not on Twitter as much as I used to be, and I don't understand how TikTok works, but I'm on it and watching all the time. So
I'm lurking in the shadows.
Absolutely, yes.
Ready, poised to strike.
We are friends, though. I'm just letting you know. We are friends. And I was like, ooh, I know her.
Well, I'll for sure tag you, you know, when this goes up.
Amazing.
And everything. And for anybody listening, I will have links to your website and socials and everywhere you can go in the episode description so that anybody listening can just scroll down and click right through. Thank you so much. I have had an amazing time, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all so much for listening. I hope we got you tuned in to the signal of electric fishes. If you liked what you heard, I hope you leave behind some kind words for us in a review on your podcast app of choice. If you want to hang out with us online, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, TikTok. Links to everything will be in the episode description below. You can also send me an email at ellen@justthezooofus.com if you have a cool animal you'd like to hear us talk about on the show. We'd like to thank Maximum Fun for having us on their network alongside their other amazing shows, like the ones that you heard promos for earlier this episode. You can check those out and learn more about the network and how you can be a part of supporting our show over at MaximumFun.org. Finally, we would like to thank Louis Zong for our theme music, and that's all for today. We'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.
Maximum Fun,
A worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
supported
Directly
by you.